What cities are worth visiting? Prague. Here, have some culture, cheap booze and sexy girls. Living here right now. If you avoid old town bars and the Charles Bridge area, this city is amazing. And compared to any other nation on the euro, it's unbelievably cheap. I love Prague. So happy I came here to spend 6 months. Chicago in the summertime. They pack a year's worth of fun into 5 months of warm weather, with festivals and concerts and parties everywhere. The city has 24 miles of lakefront parks and beaches and harbors, world-class architecture and museums, hundreds of golf courses in the metro area, lots of nightlife, sailing and boating, fireworks twice a week, and it comes alive in the warm weather. It's not bad during the holidays either, right up through New Year's. There are lots of sports events and holiday parties, and the snow just makes it more authentic. You might want to stay away from January through April, though. Most residents hibernate. Although global warming has made the weather more mild, I live in Chicago, and it's the best. It has all the amenities of a huge, world-class city, like New York and LA, minus all the hot garbage on the street, plus lots of really nice Midwestern people. I'm not originally from here, but I can tell you for a fact that I never want to live anywhere else. Chicago is hands down the best city I have ever been to. Trondheim. I'm so lonely. Went there once or twice when I was younger. Beautiful landscape, but got chased by a dog and had to blow up a submarine. Would visit again though. Visited there a few years ago. It is a lovely university town surrounded by beautiful farmland and forests. We loved the indoor water park overlooking the bay. While hiking, we picked delicious wild strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, and amazing wild chanterelles. Nice try. Trondheim Tourism Board. Krakow. A very beautiful city, lots of culture, relatively inexpensive, and you have the Wieliczka salt mine and Auschwitz in close proximity. Makes for an excellent city break. I spent almost 2 weeks in Krakow last April, and it was incredible. The history of the city is fascinating, the food is delicious, and the vodka is cheap and wonderful. 10 out of 10 would visit again. Boston, MA, USA. You can see a lot of preserved history and eat some good Italian food. I love Boston, as long as I don't have to drive around in the city. It's like someone threw a handful of spaghetti noodles on a piece of paper and said, this will be the Boston road system. Visit in October, it's just amazing. So much good food. I've never heard a better way to describe our roads in Boston. Tokyo. Man, when I arrived in Tokyo, it was like being on acid for the first time all over again. Close street city to a pinball machine. After visiting Tokyo, I die a little when I use my state's public transport. Went to Tokyo when I was a kid and had really blonde hair. All the staring really made me feel like some sort of celebrity or possibly an alien. They also have the most vending machines I've ever witnessed there. Fun fact, Japan has more vending machines than New Zealand has people. Edit. Another fun fact, the amount of Japanese senior citizens is equivalent to the population of Tokyo, where 1/3 of the entire country's population resides. An apartment block in Japan has more people than New Zealand has people. But not sheep. We have more sheep. Reykjavik, Iceland. Such an amazing city and country. Everything is walking distance, and it has an amazing nightlife. Plus the country itself is beautiful with so many things to explore. I personally love New Orleans. The city had its own special culture. It was more of a small town feel. Everyone was so friendly, and the people sitting on the streets playing music seemed to be enjoying themselves more, and their music was very soulful. And the food was delicious and unique. At the French market, there were people selling decorated pieces of glass from windows that had been destroyed by Katrina. Everyone there seemed so genuine. I just felt like I was visiting a second home when I was there. America has only 3 cities, New York, San Francisco, and New Orleans. Everywhere else is Cleveland, Tennessee Williams. Istanbul. It is unthinkable to me that this was not on the list yet. It is the biggest city in Europe, straddles 2 continents, has existed for well over 3,000 years, and served as an imperial capital for 1,500 of them. It's very easy to fly to, easy to get around in, and I've found English to be spoken in many places. Phenomenal food, fascinating history, beautiful views, complicated security environment. should not be missed. Vienna. Beautiful city, great architecture, safe, great museums, and all the sausage you can eat. Also the center is built around a series of rings, so if you get lost you can just ride the tram until you end up where you started. Can confirm. Some of the best sausage I've ever eaten came from a marketplace in Vienna. Bruges. It's like a ducking fairy tale or something. Ken, I grew up in Dublin. I love Dublin. If I grew up on a farm and was retarded, Bruges might impress me, but I didn't, so it doesn't. Sorry, I admit it looks lovely and I would love to visit, but this is always what I think of when someone suggests going to Bruges. Went to visit after seeing the movie. It's actually a really awesome little town, but it's still ducking Bruges. Budapest. I'm in Budapest right now and yes, it's amazing. It's really cheap as well compared to Sweden where I'm from. Everything is cheap compared to Sweden, except Norway. Amsterdam. Drugs, hookers, Van Gogh, and bicycles. It's got everything, and Anne Frank would rather just stay in her attic all day. Florence, Italy. Absolutely stunning city. Berlin. Berlin? Yes, I know it well. I stabbed a woman in a bar in Berlin. But I'm going nowhere near Berlin. Totally agree. Paris is nice, Rome is interesting, but Berlin is just amazing. If you are a history nut like me, you will love the place. I agree Berlin is awesome, but Paris and Rome are on another ducking tier. Rome has more history than Berlin, and it's not even remotely close. Rome is way more interesting for a history nut. Barcelona. Astoundingly embellished by the exquisite works of Gaudi, this city is sure to captivate the hearts of you, and the palatable cuisine is an added bonus too. Seattle, Washington. Vancouver, British Columbia. Bring a thick wallet to Vancouver. Bring cash, BC. Dubrovnik, Croatia. It is the world's only functioning walled city. The place is so scenic and amazing, and Game of Thrones was shot there because of how awesome it is. It is truly amazing. It's a nice city, but the tourists make it absolutely awful. There's a plenty of comparably, if not more, scenic cities nearby, like Mostar, Split, Kotor etc., which, unlike Dubrovnik, aren't completely overrun by tourists. If you ever come to Australia, make the trek across to Perth. We have amazing beaches, great wines, gorgeous scenery, we are super laid back and friendly, but best of all, we have quokkas. Make the trek. Oh cool, that must mean you can walk to Perth. Dies. Driving across Australia to Perth was the inspiration for AC/DC's Highway to Hell. York in the UK. Amazing place, a great mix of modern and history. I thought the sequel was better. No love for German cities? You need to visit Munich if you haven't already. It's a beautiful place with lots of history, nice landmarks and lots of delicious food and beer. For a short break, Edinburgh is a fantastic destination. The city centre is a mix of the old and new town, which provides an amazing contrast. The Prince's Street Gardens and the castle provide a fantastic view. The festival is an amazing spectacle if you aren't a local, for whom it's just the city becoming annoyingly busy. Even the Christmas market is improving year on year, although it isn't something to come for, just a nice bonus. Many will say Glasgow is the better city, and it probably does offer more for those who live there, but Edinburgh should definitely be a tourist's first stop in Scotland city-wise. Singapore. Safest city in the world. Huge variety of food, perfect launchpad to visit the rest of Asia. Kinda like the kiddie pool, before you jump into the deep end, which is Asia. Ottawa, Canada. Beautiful parks in the summer. Free yoga on Parliament Hill. Look it up, it's awesome. The Bywood Market is pretty great to wander around in. Tons of farmers markets around the city. Lots of bike paths and hiking trails. It gets pretty damn cold in the winter, but skating on the Rideau Canal, longest skating rink in the world, is pretty awesome. Winter Brew Beer Festival, Winterlude Festival, music, ice sculptures, food. Year round we have the only 4 fully nationally funded museums in Canada, free on Thursdays, which are pretty cool. Despite being the 4th largest city by population in Canada, it very much maintains that big town small city feel. Washington DC. Capitol Hill, countless monuments, the Smithsonian Institutes, the Holocaust Museum. San Diego, California. San Diego Zoo, beautiful beaches, Perfect weather, in my opinion, year round. Gaslamp Quarter, tons of awesome art and history museums. Balboa Park, public transit down to Tijuana. All of these have tons of amazing restaurants. I live in a tour, but travel to the other 2 cities as often as I can, and eating at new places and trying new things is one of my favorite parts of traveling.